Everybody's Changing, Campfire Edition, adapted for the single acoustic guitar. And speaking of things changing, we, true story, got hit by a tornado on Wednesday a few days ago, and this tree is no longer a tree. Just wanted to share. And speaking of things changing, before we get going, I'd like to take a quick moment to thank the following people who I hope never change for signing up for the Patreon supporter of the Cause Club: Brad Hanrahan, Kevin Lamberg, Scott, Martin Alexander Drake, and Dennis Blairon. That's my guess. Thank you very, very, very much for your support. And if you would like to find out what that's all about, the link will be in the description. Now I have a nice place to lean. Okay, check it out. Here's the chords for the intro. I'm going to show you the chords, but then we're going to make it a little more special. So, C, F, a little quicker, D minor, G, C. Okay, let's make it better now. Better's the wrong word. We're going to do something different here. If you want to play it that way, go ahead and play it that way. But if you dare, put yourself in a drop D. That's going to come in handy in just a second. What we're going to do is grab the A string 3rd fret. That's our C note from our C chord. And also the G string 5th fret and the B string 5th fret. We want to get some of that piano motion in here. So what's going to happen is the G string's going to fall down to 4, then down to open, back up to 4. Now what the piano actually does here is this. The G string goes 5, 4, then the B string, 5th fret, which we already have, and then back to 4. So I wanted to get as much of the chord as I could, so I kept that B string in there the whole time, and I just used the open G string to indicate motion where motion is. So G string, 5, 4, open, 4. Now, we drop D'd ourselves because now we can reach for this F note right here and do everything the exact same, except we've got our pointer finger on the now D string, used to be E string, 3rd fret now. That's our F chord. The D minor one is excellent. We're going to keep our 5, 5, and we're going to add the A string 5th fret. That's a D, and so is that. So, remember, this chord is shorter. It's just going to get the G string 5, 4, and then comes the G chord. What we want is the E string 5th fret, and the B string goes up to 6. That's all you have, and notice the fingers because after that B6, you go back to the G4. And then, of course, it ends on the C1. And that's your intro. I'm going to do the whole thing for you. C. F. D. G. C. And that's your intro. The verse is the exact same chords, of course, but there's no motion, and the piano's not even playing chords. It's just a bass note. So I want to keep this a little simple to give us room to go somewhere later. I'm just going to play power chords, and power chords in drop D are really fun. It's just the 3 low strings in whatever fret. That said, the first one's C, so I'm going to play it rather than the 10th fret, drop D style. I'm going to play it regular, the A string 3rd fret, normal power chord. C. F is on the 3rd fret, drop D style. Going to open for D. 5 for G. And back to C. That's how I'm going to do the verse. Love this chorus, and we're going to switch to open chords now, but we're in drop D, so we've ruined our ability to play G, the whole way. So when we play G, there's not going to be any low string in there, just mute it. And on that note, when we play E minor, we're going to need to play the low string in the 2nd fret to equal what used to be the open fret. So E minor is 2, 2, 2 You can do it with one finger or whatever fingers you like. Anyways, F. I'm going to play baby F because this would not be F. We're in drop D. F, new G, C, back to F, D minor. You get the whole thing, right? G, E minor, and A, D minor, G, and then you're into what I'm calling the interlude, which begins on the C one from the pretty intro. And then it gets weird. It's going to be the E minor version of the intro. We're going to have 2-2-2, but we're going to start with the B string 3rd fret as well, and it's going to switch from the B3 to the G4, and it's going to do it 6 times or 1.5 measures. 2, 3, meaning 6 things, 3 times 2. And then we do the G1 from the intro. So here's the whole thing. C, E minor, G, and then you'd go into the next verse. The last time you come to the intro, it ends differently. You still do your C thing. You still do your F thing. Still the D and the G, but then it's going to be A minor. And you can play regular A minor if you want, or for extra fanciness, you can play I Am the Highway A minor, just the D string 7th fret, the G string 5th fret, strum from the A string down. I think that's my choice. And the end of the very last chorus is different as well. Smart songwriting. It's going to be, I'm at the end now, so D minor. Everybody's changing, G. But it's going to resolve on A minor. I call that a false resolution. And then it does what it's supposed to. D minor, G, and on C. Call it a false resolution because the chords C and A minor are what's known as a relative pair. They're so very similar. In fact, their scales are made of the same notes, so when you hit the relative minor where you're supposed to hit its major, it sounds like it's right, but it's not quite done, right? And then you give the audience the satisfaction when you do it the way they expected to end the song. Love it. And that's it. I got to shout out my student and friend, John. We did this together yesterday, and he was so kind to let me use the idea we came up with together in this video. And on that note, why aren't you my student? There's a link in the description. Just go click it. I want to hear from you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that was fun and helpful, and I will see you next time with more stuff. Goodbye.